Hey everybody, my name is Baldemar Jesus Vidari Preston IV. I like to be called Jesse. This isn't a polished video. It's not packed with any effects or edits besides the American flag that you see in the background. It took me a really long time to make this video script, to do the research, to come up with the sources, and along with that it took an even longer time to come up with the courage to even upload this video. It's just me speaking from the heart because I feel like someone needs to hear this. I, for one, can't stay silent anymore. I can't sit idly by while witnessing what's happening every day in Palestine, and that's why I'm making this video. To possibly shed light on how we got this far as a human race and what we can do to come together and stop it. We live in a world overflowing with power struggles, war, division, and fear. And if you ever looked around and thought we've lost our way, you're not alone. I've been thinking the same. Let's go back 100 years, and if you feel we should go back further, that's your prerogative. I invite you to search further. I only mention 100 years because of the division and world-shaking events caused by World War I, which set in motion crimes and suffering unlike anything we've seen in modern times. We had teachings that were meant to unite us from prophets, poets, and philosophers. But somewhere along the way, we replaced meaning with material. We chose borders over brotherhood, power over peace. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, and so many spiritual paths were never meant to be weapons. But time and again they've been used to justify conquest, to control the vulnerable, and to divide us. The Prophet Muhammad never called himself Sunni or Shia. Jesus didn't start denominations. These were humans with a message, not marketers of ideologies. And so this leaves a question. Why do we still tear each other apart over categories they never claimed to own? As you let that question marinate for a bit, let's move forward to the outbreak of World War I. So in 1914, Europe plunged into a war fueled by fear, ambition, and nationalism. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand triggered a chain of events that dragged the continent into chaos. Monarchs such as Kaiser Wilhelm II, Tsar Nicholas II, and Emperor Franz Joseph pulled their nations into a conflict they thought would be brief, but it became a global catastrophe. And when the dust settled, old empires had crumbled. Most importantly for our dive into history, the Ottoman Empire, which had ruled over the Middle East for centuries, fell. Britain and France carved up the region in secret deals, such as the Sykes-Picot Agreement, reshaping borders and seizing control over Arab lands. With this control, Palestine became a British mandate. And so in 1917, the British issued the Balfour Declaration to Lord Rothschild, a Zionist leader pledging support for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. But they had also promised Arab leaders independence. As Jewish immigrants arrived fleeing Europe, European anti-Semitism, tensions rose with the local Arab population, setting the stage for future clashes. We can speculate all we want about the Rothschilds. All I understand is that this declaration was created as a wartime tactic by Britain to gain Jewish support, align with Zionist goals, secure influence in the Middle East for control of the Suez Canal, and establish a loyal population in the Middle East. This directly contradicted other promises made to Arab leaders after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, which was the Hussein McMahon Correspondence, and to France, which was the Sykes-Picot Agreement. As these tensions between Arab leaders and Jewish colonists rose leading up to World War II, the Holocaust devastated European Jewry, creating an urgent push for a Jewish homeland. In 1947, the United Nations proposed partitioning Palestine into Jewish and Arab states. In 1948, Israel declared independence. The Arab-Israeli war that followed displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, an event they called the Nakba, or catastrophe. We can point fingers, stating that the Arabs should have been peaceful in the transition of Jews coming into Palestine, for them to be complacent in the formation of an Israeli state. But we should ask ourselves, why was this mandate in Palestine even created to begin with? The Jews came from all sorts of walks of life, from the USA to Germany and all in between. During the Crusades, Christians, Jews, and Muslims fought and died alongside each other during those atrocities. Why didn't Britain welcome persecuted Jews with open arms? And why was this declaration made specific to Lord Rothschild? What were his motives? What power did he have that involved allocating Jews to Palestine, if not for power and control over that region? With these questions in the air, borders drawn after World War I left deep scars. Broken promises and imperial legacies still fuel resentment. The modern conflict over Gaza, the West Bank, and Jerusalem is part of this century-long conflict and struggle over land, identity, and survival. I'll be honest with you, making this video feels very heavy. I'm tired. I am tired because I don't have these answers. Some days I can barely even get out of bed due to the suffering I'm witnessing and have witnessed from the past. I often ask myself, what's the point of speaking even if no one listens? But here's the thing. Speaking truth is the point. Even if it reaches one soul, even if that soul is my future self 10, 20, 30 years from now, it still matters. We don't need more noise, we need more honesty. And if this resonates with you on a deep level, then perhaps you're part of that shift too. Imagine a world where we compete to feed the hungry, not bomb them, where we uplift wisdom instead of weaponizing faith, where your identity or religion isn't a threat, it's a gift. That's the world I still believe in, and the one I'm going to try, however imperfectly, to bring into existence. So in closing, if this has made you feel something, please speak up. It doesn't matter how polished you are. We don't need perfection. We need presence, togetherness, and to pick each other out from oppression, helping those who are less capable of doing it themselves. That's what I believe religion and its prophets have taught us, to love one another, to bring each other together, and to lend a hand in times of need. And maybe if enough of us do speak, the silence will finally lose its power. I thank you for listening. You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to, reach out to me, reach out to a family member, even if it's a stranger. Ask them how they're doing. Just spread love. I hope I've shared some insight into what's happening in Palestine, and as always, I support the cause of a free Palestine. They deserve freedom just as much as you or I. Ask questions, do more research, and seek truth in a world where it seems foreign. Don't stop asking questions until you get the answers you're looking for. Leave a like, a comment, or subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content like this. I'd love to build a community of learning and empathy. And much love to you all. Now, I want to get serious again. As a side note, I want to make this perfectly clear. I want a ceasefire immediately. I want the Palestinian people to have the right to their land. I don't support Israel as an apartheid state, and I most certainly do not support our current or any past administrations that have supported Israel militarily, politically, and financially to become a world power. This must end. All I ask is to follow the money, follow your money, where it's leading, and how it's being used. Weapons of war are not the answer. Jobs created to create weapons of war are not jobs, they're a crime. There's a better way, and we were taught a better way. Control over a population is not love, it's power, an artificial ideology, empirical and futile. It's a backwards way of thought, and if we don't stop this trajectory, there won't be a world to conquer anymore. It would be the extinction of the human race. Again, thank you, and have a good day.